what kind of emblems are they going to be taking, right? Because we've seen Fanny take a couple different ones up to this point now, because Fanny has appeared in the tournament at least a few times up to this point. So, do they want to just focus on those assassin emblems? Does Lord Kid want to take the fighter Festival of Blood instead? What does he want to go with? Do they go with jungle emblem to force those objective based fights and everything else? There's a lot of options here, but also just with having a Sicilian, I feel like, again, you have that kind of late game potential here for you. And also a Boxy is going to be playing on this Rome Akai, which I feel like is going to be a big threat, because with that heavy spin, with those lockdowns, it's really going to be beneficial for See You Soon. AUG3 on the other side, you're relying a lot on those hooks, right? You want to get those hooks off, but already... Okay, what happened off... Okay, down at the bottom, it looks like, actually, Septizi already able to get a kill here, and that was because he had Razzle there with him.
Yeah.
So he was able to... That must have been a hook off cam that we didn't see, but still, nice big pickup here for Septizi. This is completely opposite from the last game, Sona.
Yup, and at the same time, when you take a look at the orange objective brought about here by the rest of the members, it is going to be Sensei Hook again, man. It's just now AUG3 starting their macro plays. The Fanny was able to get the orange objective coming in from See You Soon's side. So Hayabusa is going to be deprived a little bit in what he actually wants to do, which is why Boxy will now enter into the enemy territory just to give the green camps to Sensei, but Rizel denies that fact. And Sensei might just have a little bit of a harder time in trying to figure out what his next major objective is going to be, because in somewhat way, AUG3 is doing the same thing that See You Soon did to them in like the early stages of game number 1, and they do have the tools to be able to use that at the same time. So it's SevTZ having a very good time in this specific bot lane with that Weapon of Mastery as your emblem. Most especially now that in almost 3 minutes in, he is on the road to be able to get at least a Blade of Despair, and that is going to be a very absolutely massive rather in the respawning of the turtle, which is about to happen like in a few seconds. Fortunately for them, it is Sensei being able to take that purple objective of his, but how long will they be able to hold on?
Well, yeah, the early kill is going to really help Septizi here, right? Like you said, with the weapon mastery, and that first item will most likely be that BOD. So he'll be pumping out the damage here, but they still got to be careful. That's going to be the turtle here, worked on now by Lord Kid. Should be able to secure it, and does just that. Meanwhile, Felix goes in. There's the heavy spin. Rusty being caught out just a little bit, but they don't have the damage just yet. He's got to be careful. Woo! But Lord Kid actually taken out off screen here by Felix. Again, this is the strength of that Phoveus in the side lane. Also now going to have to deal with losing this purple buff most likely. Yakuza trying to help them out too. Ra in the back trying to pop those bad impacts out. Sensei taking quite a bit of damage here. There you go. Lord Kid now joining. Everybody is too low for him. Dawning Light too, finding a target here. So they grab 2 kills. See you soon. Spending a little bit too much time in AUG3's jungle.
Yup, and this has been the same scenario just like game number 1, where it is both a Boxy and Sensei hanging around there as the Thanos and another roamer from game number 1, right? So technically, AUG3 has the kits to be able to punish those kinds of overextensions brought about by a See You Soon. But let us not forget, that was a good shutdown coming in from Sensei, or a Felix rather, that has helped him actually secure a Clock of Destiny in this specific juncture. So together with that Mystery Shop as the emblem, it is a little bit faster for Felix to be able to secure the items. Meanwhile, on his counterpart is going to be Rusty and the rest of the gang managing to take it out, and AUG3 just roaming around the map, man, and SevTZ having the time of his life, courtesy of Rizel's assistance.
Yeah, man, Rizel's on fire right now with his Franco. And I mean, that's the thing we've seen. Actually, the trend so far in the tournament is, Franco is struggling early game, right? A lot of the times, that's what we see. They're not landing the hooks. They're not landing the plays. Even with the Bloody Hunt combo, they don't have, they weren't able to do much. But right now, man, Rizel's on fire, dude. He's setting his team up really well, especially SevTZ here, allowing him to just have a great old time in that lane. And this is the thing, right? Because still, at the end of the day, one hook can change the game. That's what we saw yesterday, where one hook actually changed the game in not the favor that you wanted it to. It lost you the game. So Rizel and has to make sure he keeps finding the right targets here. There's someone right in that bush, not going to commit the Iron Hook just yet. That one misses. Turtle's going to go ahead and reset. Felix comes in with a Demonic Force. Looks like Rusty also trying to do his best to zone him out here. That cable's not going to connect. Dawning Light also used. They committed quite a bit. Meanwhile, in the bottom lane, he's still going to be farming up runs just there. Here comes Lord Kid once again. Demonic Force still being popped. They find a kill, though, as Boxy falls. Meanwhile, it's a 1-for-1 trade. Double kill, though, for Sev Teasy. Happy about that. Sitting nice and pretty at 3-0-2. This is a very beefed up Sev Teasy on this Beatrix right now. Let's see if they actually want to go ahead and wait to take this turtle, because, again, See You Soon still has their jungler available to him. Sensei is just around the corner. You're going to have to be really careful about this, that it doesn't get stolen. Lord Kid now up, should be able to grab that one.
Man, honestly, it's not even just Sev Teasy at this point. Yakuza is also having a wonderful time in trying to stack up because of the positioning that the Savior is posing. You know, Sensei would initially look for Yakuza in terms of the Ogi Shadow Kill to be used in order for that specific hero to go down and not provide the impact using the Dawning Light. But the thing here is, AUG3's good position has always been a key factor for their victory in the macro gameplay that they've been showing here, which is why Rizel here is absolutely being cautious. But Boxy on the other side.
Oh, nice little play there. Sev Teasy able to dodge that one, but Demonic Force being used as well. Meanwhile, Yakuza goes down off screen here. That looked like a pickup for Sensei as he popped that Shadow Kill. Meanwhile, still in the 2 versus 2 in the top lane. Rob making his way up here, but he's actually going to call that one off. So still, Razzle doing a great job here at protecting Sev Teasy. I mean, that could have been bad news for him, as they committed the Demonic Force and that heavy spin, still able to avoid being taken out here. So great awareness, great play so far from AUG3.
Yup, and they do want to push this upper or top lane turret down, because as much as they can, it gives you a lot of leeway, most especially because the turtle is about to spawn in just a few seconds, and they will be successful in doing so. Malefic Roar has been secured here by Sev Teasy. That gives out extra damage aside from the Blood of Despair, or Blade of Despair rather, that was secured by that previous hero in like the first 3 minutes of the game. So this is AUG3 again, maximizing the capacities that they've had with the mobility that the rest of the members have been showing all throughout this matchup. And with the Tamos, we are finally seeing the Fanny actually thrive in this specific match. And Sensei, though, he's still waiting for the right time for them to be able to get the purple buff, but unfortunately, it hasn't appeared just yet. And with just under 10 seconds of spawning into the turtle pit, it is going to be up to Ryza to just continuously annoy and disrupt See You Soon from getting their major objective. The turtle is just right there. Enchanted Talisman, interestingly secured here by Rusty, and the fight might just be starting in just a few seconds.
Turtle gonna be half health. Nice hook there from Razzle. Boxy popping the heavy spin. He finds Sev Teasy. There's Demonic Force too. They find the target, take him out, but the Dawning Light comes out too. Boxy is down. Felix now focusing on Lord Kid. He's in a bad situation as he falls. Double kill for Felix. Rusty there now too. Turtle less than half health. Yakuza also trying to zone them out the best he can. Rusty gonna take quite a bit of damage too. The bad impact finds Rusty as he falls. Turtle's gonna reset now. 2 members here of AUG3. That was a disaster for them as See You Soon punishes AUG3.
AUG3 is just having a little bit of a hard time now because they're starting to feel the damage coming in from Ra. Ra has been good in terms of positioning, and Yakuza might catch that at the same time.
Well, here comes Lord Kid. Dawning Light's going to be committed too. There's the heavy spin right on top of Rizel. He's in bad area to be in as he falls now. Run grabbing a kill here. Turret falling in the top lane. Turtle for the taking if they want to go for it. Meanwhile, Lord Kid's going to go ahead and secure that purple buff. Let's see the replay right here, Sona.
Yeah, it's all about hitting the right personnel in terms of the Iron Hook, right? That time around, it was Rizel catching the Akai, and it went into the Akai's favor by landing in that heavy spin for a countless number of times. And this time around, it is the rest of the members of See You Soon maximizing the lack of members coming in from AUG3, and they didn't hesitate to make the Lord reset or the Turtle reset because they knew they were about to get it anyway in the later stages of the team fight, and they still haven't given up because right now it is going to be Rizel caught out here in the heavy spin once again.
Oh, there's the demonic force. Ryzel's gonna be in trouble. Bad Impact's gonna find the target with the feast. Lord Kid looking for a follow-up here. Ra's gonna take quite a bit of damage, but the return, the boys are here to protect him as they push back Lord Kid. Meanwhile, Sensei working on the bottom lane. He's gonna move up here. Looks like we're gonna be taking a pause, but man, already you can see them fighting for that space. The thing is, that mid lane isn't completely open yet, right? Lord has now spawned. There's a lot of decisions here that they can make, and you can see this, like the synergy between the heavy spin and the demonic force are working so well at zoning out the members of AUG3. The thing they have to be careful of, if you're See You Soon, is those initiations from Lord Kid coming in and being sure not to let him lose control. What I mean by lose control is unleash the damage, especially on Ra, because what we're seeing from Ra is really great positioning, especially with his bad impacts, the way he's using the sprint defensively, right, running away from Lord Kid, but also the response, the peeling that is coming out from his team, especially Felix, man. Felix is protecting Ra like crazy, and as the game drags on, your Fanny's gonna fall off a little bit. The Sicilian's gonna power up, not a little bit, but a lot, right? So that's something you really have to be careful of, because Ra, eventually, he's already finding great picks, great moments, has quite a bit of damage already, but as the game drags on, it's going to be that much harder to deal with Ra. And this is, again, what we've seen from most Sicilian players being picked, right? This is kind of the story of it. So if you're AUG3, you want to go ahead and get these objectives, get these turrets down, and honestly, end the game quicker than later, sooner than later, right?
Yep. And in the same way, right? You're somewhat taking a look at a Ra that's always managing to get the positioning right. And in the same way, he kind of bursted down the Uranus from a while ago, and that already says a lot, because Uranus, you of course you would be able to sustain yourself in like the later portions of the game, but you're already supposed to be tanky in like the mid stage, right? That is where the Sicilian is absolutely scary if he can already do and deal damage like that just by using the Bat's impact alone. So hopefully they would be able to continue the momentum. But on the other hand, somewhat the snowball or scaling coming from the side of AUG3 Esports is starting to fall off, which is also the reason why Sensei is not forcing the team fights as much as he wanted to, because there is going to be enough dominance ice and physical defense items coming from the other side just to be able to hold off that pressure. And we are already in the portion of the game wherein we will be seeing a lot of these players compiled with each other, grouped up with each other. So this will technically be the team fight that both of the teams will be waiting for. But when you take a look at the team fight, right, it will always favor Ra because of, first, the positioning that he already had using the Sicilian in like the first few minutes of the game. Second is the scaling that he would have by using the Bat's impact. So technically, he would always be able to hit someone using that first skill, just because of the fact that the Sanguine Cross will also be there to assist that type of mage. And at the same time, it is going to be posing a lot of problems for the side of AUG3, because even so that you actually have a very jungler for yourself, it is actually going to be a little difficult for you to be able to pull things off, most especially because there's a lot of other things that you have to take into consideration.
Yeah, I mean, we're focusing on Ra here too, and I feel like if you're AUG3, you've really got to decide, allowing Sevtizi to be okay, because what we've been seeing is the combination of that demonic force, the heavy spin,
Right.
really focusing on finding him. And again, he had a great start. He is doing very well, but the problem is now he's starting to be focused on by those two members alone. And Rusty, here's the thing about Uranus. Like, Uranus is a good just damage sponge, right? He can also push a lane and kind of be okay there, cut the lane and everything else. But I feel like there's got to be a way to really protect Sevtizi here, because the Lord Kid's going to be doing what he does, zipping around with those cables, right? But someone's got to protect Sevtizi. Razzle can only do so much with the Bloody Hunt. As soon as that's down, you can't really protect Sevtizi. Rusty can kind of be there a little bit, or if he's not zoning someone out, or Yakuza can use the Mystic Fields to peel for him. But I think at the end of the day, Sevtizi needs to stay alive. He has to be able to get that positioning off to really find those targets. The problem is that initiation factor from See You Soon is so devastating whenever they decide to use, whether it's the Demonic Force or the Heavy Spin. Not to mention even Sanguine Claws being a threat itself, like what we've seen in the past, right? So there's a lot of things here that Sevtizi has to be conscious of, and already Lord going to be half health. I'm not sure if anyone's actually going to commit to this, as Sensei is still, farming up here. Like you said, Sony, he hasn't been involved in too many fights because he doesn't have to be.
Right,
That's the thing.
right. Right. You're absolutely correct with that one. But a concealed play is going to be committed here by the rest of the members of See You Soon. Dawning Light's going to be able to hit them in a heavy spin, though.
Yeah, there's the lockdown that I was talking about. But Sevtizi actually able to punish him. Felix going to get driven back here. Notice, again, Rusty was there. Also, Yakuza was there to protect Sevtizi. That's exactly what they need to do here. Now they're in a position they could actually commit to the Lord, but they also need to defend the mid lane. Both tier 1 turrets are still up on both sides. Let's see. Actually, AUG3 going to go ahead and give this one a go. Less than half health here. But another kill goes over. Ren is the one to fall here. Sensei might be looking for something. There's the Dawning Light committed here. That should be just a free Lord going into the hands of AUG3. Oh, the flame shot. He was going to try to take it with the flame shot, but Felix, you didn't get lucky that time, man.
That was good macro mechanic coming in from AUG3 Esports, given that there was just enough for Sevtizi in terms of the damage, man. This is their late game investment finally paying off. Just take a look at it, man. Blade of Despair together with that Hunter Strike and the Malefic Roar is just going to dish out so much damage coming in for the rest of the members coming in from See You Soon. So it will just post, most especially with the Vampiric Mallet and the Spear that was secured by the Beatrix just now. It's also going to give him the life steal. So in somewhat way, it is a possibility for AUG3 to build towards that task clause for them to be able to extend that team fights. And the graph will also show the turnaround by AUG3 in that specific fight. And the Bloody Hunt together with that Dawning Light's going to be able to hit.
Oh man, the shadow kill is going to be popped here. Razzle actually going down. Killing spree for Felix. Demonic Force still being committed here, but meanwhile the top lane is going to be pushed here by Lord Kid. Also, Lord's still going to be up here. Another kill go over to Yakuza. Sensei now could be looking for a kill, but backs off instead. They've got to take care of this Lord and reset right now because the push, the pressure from AUG3 is too much right now for See You Soon. They've got to slow things down a little bit here. Should be able to clear this Lord just fine, as it still is a normal one. But again, you can see AUG3 really just synergizing very well with what they have. And you got to give it up to Lord Kid too, right? Pushing that top lane out, being confident enough that his team is going to be okay. Yes, Razzle went down there, but it wasn't at the cost of nothing, right? They managed to get a kill. They managed to get these turrets in space. They're up 4 turrets now, and they're in prime position for the next Lord coming up in about a minute.
Yes, and at the same time, the Lord is absolutely going to be critical for both of the teams, right? Lord Kid just basically locking in that War Axe. And honestly, that's a pretty interesting thought because you would want Lord Kid to just be able to be there to clean, for the cleanup in terms of the team fights. But in this time around, it is going to be the Fanny locking in that War Axe to be able to sustain himself a little bit more when the team fight arises. So AUG3 Esports is just basically locking in all of the major objectives that See You Soon could potentially get so that they will not be able to scale up and stop from what they've been doing. They're also currently freezing the lanes aside or except from the bottom side that we are consistently seeing there for Rusty to get the stacks that he needs. But it is going to be another Dawning Light and the Iron Hook combo that's going to delay See You Soon for like a little bit, because onto the top lane, that might just be the turret or the first inhibitor to go down. But fortunately for them, Run is going to be there to save the day.
Yeah, so all this, right? The buff is still for the taking. They can still go for that. Actually, it looks like it was taken here. Now the Lord's going to be up here. Sevtizi actually given the purple buff. So, yes, Sensei doesn't have that, and you could see him. He was going one-on-one with Lord Kid at the top. But that's the thing. Dawning Light's going to be on such a low cooldown at this point. Now you can look at the play. Boxy looking for a setup. Razzle's going to get heavy spinned here. Has to pop the flicker. Rusty there to back him up too. Run, trying to get a kill here. Not able to get it at all. They committed so much, resulting into nothing. And now Lord in prime position for AUG3 to take.
It is just too difficult for the rest of the members of See You Soon to be able to engage with the Lord's lane. That is a good sign for them, but they're not stopping.
Oh, the crossbow of Tang's going to be popped here. Immortality goes out. Dawning Light to try to help them out.
Woo!
Rum takes quite a bit of damage himself. Has to back off here. So again, they get the Immortality. No one falls. Luckily for Run, he's still alive. But now, again, see you soon. This time around, their backs against the wall. Lord's going to be charging up in the top lane. Will most likely charge into that turret. And still, if they want to get some space here, they need to get this tier 1 turret in the mid lane down. But also, notice they're pretty much forced to stay together, right? There's not many people here that can split the map and put pressure. That's only Sensei. And he's also, most of the time, just responding to Lord Kid. So right now, they're going to be on that full-on defense here for See You Soon.
Yup, and at the same time, the Dawning Light just basically gave Run a running point in his life, you know. He's always just simply trying to get the engage done, but it is going to be an inhibitor destroyed here, and AUG3 might just go in for the kill.
Yeah, they're looking for something. Sensei was there in enemy territory, but there's the Dawning Light. Mid turret's most likely going to go down here. One more shot. 2 turrets now down. The third one just about there. Lord Kid gonna go in, Beyblading all around. Gets the turret here. That's gonna be Felix falling. And now Boxy popping the heavy spin on that defensive. But all members of AUG3 now happy with this exposed base of See You Soon.
Basically got more than what they wanted at that point, right? We were somewhat thinking of just 3 inhibitors, but they also got a Felix, which was a nuisance for them whenever Lord Kid is there, and the Dawning Light's gonna be able to hit, man. 3 people, 4 there, and AUG3 might just go in for the kill. Once again, it's Lord Kid.
Lord Kid goes in, forcing him back to the fountain here. They're trying to clear these minions, but again, See You Soon has quite a bit to clear themselves between Run and Raw. Look at that Dawning Light. It's literally every 14, 15 seconds or so. And right now, they're pretty much just going to have to wait. They're going to have to wait for the next Lord to come up. That's the thing, though. Even if they can secure that Lord, See You Soon might want to go ahead and contest it, because if their backs are against the wall into their base defending, I don't know if they can actually keep up with the damage from AUG3 here. So they got to either look for a pick. Boxy's got to find something. Felix could too. But at the same time, they need to make sure Run is okay, right? Run has been struggling here on this 1-1. And allow Raw to actually find those connections with the bad impact, right? He hasn't gone down yet, which is great. He's playing very defensively. He has quite a bit of damage, also has that Divine Glaive. But he continues, he needs to continue to find moments where he can actually get that damage off here. So already, Yakuza taking that purple buff from See You Soon. The Lord is now up.
Man, you're kind of worrying about the 14 to 15 second lock here by the side of the Savior when locking in that Dawning Light, but it will also be more difficult for them to be able to handle that in the later parts of the game, most especially when Savior gets that purple objective. So this is now a new challenge for the rest of the members of See You Soon, because indeed you managed to talk about the 1-1 and the Sicilian. You're absolutely right. They may be the saving grace of this See You Soon team for them to be able to bounce back and get the job done. But still, we have to worry about the setup coming in from See You Soon in the same way, because it is absolutely vital and fatal, together with the damage that is to be given out by both the Sicilian and the 1-1 coming from the other side. So when you actually think about it, I like the wave clear coming in from both of those damage leaders in terms of the late game, which is why AUG3 is also having somewhat of a hard time in trying to finish the game, because they have to worry about Rod, they have to worry about the Sicilian, and they need to find it first, which is why, the same way, Lord Kid also being aggressive in some of the cases that we've seen all throughout the match here at Top Clans. Like he won't usually be out of position, but when he is, he will always use the strength to be able to go back in that specific fight. So that is one of the good signs coming in from the rest of the members of See You Soon. But AUG3 is a problem just simply right now, and one of the reasons is because of Ryza's contribution and participation in terms of the team fights. Like, yes, he would be picked off like for a handful number of times, but when he gets to pick off first, most especially when he gets the crucial part of the kill, then he gets to be declared as the hero of this match, man. He's always landing the hooks, and he's always making them count for the side of AUG3.
Yeah, he's on point, right? He's been on point with his hooks, but you still got to be careful, right? You got to be careful on who you're hooking here. As this portion of the game, I mean, before we took this pause, we're almost at the 20-minute mark, right? So this is the
Right.
crunch time for a lot of them. I mean, we're already seeing that kind of power, the scaling power of Raw, if he can continue to get that damage off. But the thing is, too, I mean, even on the other side, we've already seen this. Xavier's Dawning Light cooldown is so low at this point, it's always going to be available. Yakuza is also, we talked about him in the draft. He's one of those players that is very demanding in that lane, that role that he plays for the team.
Right.
Now, what we're seeing Lord Kid do, like you mentioned, he's off usually splitting, causing pressure as he is right now on the top lane, right? So he's forcing Sensei to respond. Oh man, that's bad news for Felix as he's caught and taken down here. So already they lose one. This is going to be the go signal for the Lord. They don't have Felix, which is a huge component to that front line. And Siasoon makes the call. Boys, just give it up. Let's get ready to defend. And that's exactly what they're going to do here.
Rizel, you bad man. 360 no scope coming in for that hook, and it is gonna be AUG3 landing that Lord once again in 19 minutes of gameplay. See you soon. Has done a little bit of a great job in terms of sticking around in terms of this specific fight, but AUG3 has just been absolutely marvelous in terms of the scaling. Most especially the Savior has been one of the biggest damage dealers, which is why the rest of the members of See You Soon have resulted to buy a immortality, all but the 1-1 and the Phobius, because they're still trying to build it up for themselves, as Lord Kid and the rest of the members of AUG3 are almost at entirely full build, except for the Franco and the Savior, if you ask me, because there's still somewhat of a little bit of change that AUG3 could do with that, but it is going to be the Lord Take and the Lord Siege right now.
Here we go. They're going to push it in here. Lord still going to be up here. No one down just yet. Taking quite a bit of damage there. Rusty just soaking up quite a bit. But Sev Teasy is taken out. But look at Yakuza finding another. And that's going to be the focus on the base. They couldn't do it.